Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. And today I am really pleased to have with me on the line Rahul Aggarwal. Rahul is the co founder of Designhill, a unique online marketplace for business owners to outsource high quality graphic design and creative services. He was awarded the Creative Startup of the Year in 2019 by Entrepreneur Magazine. He was named Entrepreneur 35 under 35 in 2020 and Asia's most promising business leaders in 2021 by the Economic Times. Rahul, thank you so much for joining me today and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be here. Really looking forward to speaking with you.
So, this is going to be a lot of fun today because we have a lot to talk about, not only about your journey and the startup that you created and why it's awesome, but you also have this amazing story about how you were able to do an amazing humanitarian effort in India during the height of the COVID crisis over there. So
Yeah,
I am very anxious to talk about this today. Can you please take a few moments to give us a little bit of a background to who you are and how you got to where you are today?
sure. Jeff, I'm an entrepreneur, third generation entrepreneur. In fact, I'm born and brought up in New Delhi, India, and I did my graduation in UK, and I started Design Hill in 2014-15 with my brother, who's my co-founder, my real brother, younger brother, Varun. And so Design Hill, it was something that just came out of a discussion that me and Varun had because I joined our family business early, and when I came back, I was having a lot of trouble getting our branding done. Fixing our brand guidelines, corporate identity, and I couldn't find a designer agency to work with, like that the one I would really like to work with. And on the other hand, Varun, he has always been very creative, and he was working as a freelancer during his college years, and he was facing difficulties around the fact that he was not able to work with the right clients, get hired, or get paid on time, or communicate with them. So it just with that discussion that we realized that this was a global problem for businesses, small and big, marketeers, professionals, and even creative professionals like designers and artists. And that's how we started Design Hill in 2014-15 as a crowdsourcing platform. Over the years, we've grown Design Hill into a multifaceted marketplace. We offer crowdsourcing services, freelancing services. We have DIY design tools based on machine learning and AI. We offer complete design to print. So basically, everything that you get designed on the platform can be printed and shipped to you all over the world. We have an online marketplace that offers custom printing on merchandise like t-shirts, phone cases, bags, and a number of other products. And you can also shop merchandise created by some handpicked artists from around the world. So we've catered to about 1 million customers till now. We have over 300,000 designers and artists, and from over 100 countries. And that's pretty much that's what's been our journey till now.
You know what's really interesting about this business is that you are in a, let's call it a semi-crowded marketplace, right? Because now you can basically outsource just about anything from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So not only are you providing a service, in a specific niche, but what happens is that you're utilizing that service to also make other businesses grow as well. And that's really what is like the secret sauce, right? Because every company needs these kind of services, like to design a logo, to get that graphic design done. I mean, I know I'm always looking for somebody to create a graphic here or create a logo over there. I mean, it just works. It's something that every business, every entrepreneur
Exactly.
always needs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you started this, how did you how did you figure out that, like, this is the direction that you wanted to go in, right? So you had that example where your brother was trying to start out, but how did that idea get refined into, a super targeted niche that this is what I'm going to attack?
So, as you rightly said, see, design is omnipresent, isn't it? I mean, we have design everywhere. As a business owner, from starting from your logo to your branding to your packaging, your website. social media presence. And I mean, a lot of us do not value design as much as we should do, all over the world. But it's just something that we realize that, because design plays such an important role in the growth of a business, and because design was very fragmented as an industry, design industry, and because technology allowed us to create what we decided to create, because we realized that there was so much talent all over the world. All we really needed to do was use the technology that we had available at hand, and we've tried to evolve it over a period of time as well, and connect the dots, connect business owners from one part of the world to designers or professionals from other parts of the world. And because that's what technology, internet has enabled us to do. And when over the last few years, with all the stuff happening around COVID-19 and the pandemic, we've just sort of seen what all can be done virtually and online. And this sort of only reinforces what we thought at that point of time.
You know what's really interesting about design in general, right? Is that y- there are really there are a lot of applications for it, right? So just from this podcast, right? Like one of the things I do is that I take the value bombs that you or any of my guests drop on the show, and then I have a graphic made, right?
Right.
So then with the
Like
quote,
a,
with your picture on it, and you have all this. You have to do this each and every time,
yes.
right? So being able to have somebody who is competent and can crank these out,
Yeah.
on a consistent basis is really important, for me or for anyone else. I want to
Exactly.
talk a little bit.
Sorry,
Mhm.
you were saying something.
No, I was just going to say that I wanted to, I want to segue into your one big tip over here, because that is really the importance of why everyone needs this kind of service, right? Because right now we are in a world where your business can grow by sharing socially what your business is doing, right?
Right.
And by showing the social proof, that actually proving that, what I say I'm going to do, I'm actually going to complete, right? How does
Exactly.
that work? Like how does that work in your business so that you can actually, increase revenues and and really enable businesses to, to enable
Discover
this,
us,
uh, yeah,
identify
to
us,
discover
buy.
and and how to make all that work.
Yeah. So, I think I can't emphasize more on the importance of social sharing and social proof. I think because there is so much time that we spend on social media these days, isn't it? I mean, we're always on one of the social media platforms. It could be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. Each kind of customer, each kind of profile have their own preferences that they spend time on. Now, as a business, every business today needs to be active on these platforms, and that goes without saying. But what I felt is that with social sharing, what you're able to do is not only showcase your services and the proof of what you are saying and you're delivering, but also you should use social sharing and social proof as a means to really leverage what your customers are saying. So for example, in our case, every time we find an opportunity on the platform that a customer is happy, a designer is happy, or about our services or the experience that they're having, or if they're finding value in our services, we try and push or promote or encourage them to share their experience online, with their friends, with their families, with the people they know. Because end of the day, the biggest influence that anybody can make on the people that you interact with, the people who follow you, is by sharing, or seeing somebody sharing, or giving a recommendation about a product or a service. And that is what real social sharing and social proof is all about, right? So, for just to give you an example, like if somebody is really happy with our service, we say that, okay, we'll give you free printed business cards if you share this with your friends, that you've had, you've given us a 5-star testimonial on our website. But if you share it, we'll give you an extra discount, or we'll do this. Though we incentivize them, But it works really wonderfully because these guys, when they share their feedback or their testimonials or their design is so illustrative, right? And they share it on their social media with tagging Design Hill. It gives us customers, it gives us visibility, it helps us get discovered by new customers. And the same goes for designers as well. So we try, because we are an online platform, we really encourage our designers to really share their journey on their social media platforms. Like, when somebody gets rated, when somebody gets awarded, somebody gets a testimonial, we share certificates with them and they share them online on their social media platform. So the whole idea here is to not only share yourself as a platform, as a business, as a entity, but encourage your customers, your users, to also share their experience with you on social media, because that is the real validation of what you're talking about, and that is what works really well, and that's what real social proof is all about.
I want to dive into your example of how you leveraged the social proof and the social sharing
Yeah.
for the humanitarian effort that you started in India.
Right.
I don't want to steal your thunder. Can you please talk about that and explain how that worked and how that came about?
Sure. So, just a couple of months back, in early April, late April this year, we in India were facing I think it was more of a catastrophe, because the second wave hit us really bad, and I live in New Delhi, which is the capital of the country, right? And the biggest problem that we were facing, and it was really unexpected, was that we basically our hospitals ran out of oxygen. The number of cases were increasing by 500% a day. We had hundreds of thousands of people who were getting infected, and the biggest problem that we were facing was that we didn't have oxygen at hand to give these patients. And I think that is something that was really really heartbreaking, and that's when I, along with a few friends, we started an initiative called Mission Oxygen, uh, just to basically procure oxygen concentrators, cylinders, wherever we could get them from. And at that point of time, we started a crowdfunding initiative. We started raising some money, and very quickly, because we were, again, we implemented the same concept of social proof and social sharing by being very transparent, by sharing every step of the journey. We imported about 6,000 concentrators worth $5 million from different factories in China by 9 charter planes. We donated them, distributed them to over 380 hospitals in 28 states. All of that happened within 2 months. We raised about $9.5 million, and all of that was donated, distributed. We set up oxygen plants, and at every step of the way, because when we started, the aim was not to raise $10 million, it was only to raise $500,000. And whenever we made a purchase, we shared photos of the products getting manufactured, them getting shipped to airports, getting on the plane, getting distributed to hospitals. The testimonials of doctors and nurses were shared on our Instagram account, on our website that we created for this initiative, and and that built confidence. That built confidence with our donors, that built confidence with the people who were supporting us, because then they felt, because so many people, they didn't know us, nobody knew who we were, right? And we ended up having 44,000 donors from over 102 countries. And because they could see the proof was there, it was there on social media, it was there on our website, it was there on news channels, right? And everybody was broadcasting, not me as such, but not our initiative, but the photos and the proof that we were putting out there, that here is an organization, an initiative that was actually doing something on ground, that was taking things in their own hand, and they were actually being able to implement. We were able to execute. We were flying charter planes from China to India. We were having trucks go all over the country. India is a relatively large country as well, and the proof was all there for everybody to see, and that is what encouraged everybody to support us, donate more money, and that eventually led us to help more people. The aim was never to do it at the size of the scale that we wanted to do, but because there was social proof, because there was sharing, there was transparency, that in everything that we were doing all the time, we got so much encouragement and support, and that's how we were able to manage what we were able to do.
So when you put this plan together, and like you said, your initial stated goal was 500K to
Yeah.
get started, what uh, what kind of specific actions did you take? Not so much sharing the photos and the videos, right? But what kind of like assets did you need to put together in order to share this out? Like basically what I'm asking here is, aside from just collecting the money and then wiring the money to somewhere else, right? How did you plan out the social assets that you were creating for this in order to get it out quickly and effectively, right? Because I'm asking not only from from a nonprofit point of view, but also how would a for-profit business be able to utilize some of these tactics that you implemented in order to work for their businesses as well?
Sure, because almost everything that we implemented was implemented basis on the learnings that I had while learning, growing Design Hill, isn't it? Because I mean, everything that we did, it was actually not planned. But we knew what to do. That was the important thing, right? So the day we decided to do this, we had the website for crowdfunding. It was live within 8 hours. We had all the social media handles live. Everything was connected to the website. We created WhatsApp messages because at the end of the day, I think the fastest and the most viral way of actually promoting anything is probably through instant messaging, WhatsApp, or any communication medium that people use these days. And those messages were sent out again, like any startup. The initial funding came from friends and family, because that's again showed confidence in what we were doing. And if you really think about the whole journey in the last 2 3 months, it was almost like creating a new startup, building it, making it viral through social media, through instant messaging, through PR. We had a few people who were reaching out to journalists. They was reaching out to online publications, media houses, telling them that what we were trying to do. And because we almost instantly, the moment we started it, I think within the first 4 or 5 days, we had a first shipment of only 94 concentrators out of 5,200 that we ended up doing with. That landed in India. So it was just about first building a little bit momentum, and then just we kept adding on to that momentum as we kept delivering. So because nothing was done in one day, it was done on a daily basis. We kept showing what we were doing. We kept adding on to that, and we kept increasing our goal, and people kept believing in us. And the more we did, the more support we got support from actors, cricketers, sports persons, from all over. And the reason was because we were doing something that nobody else was doing again. So that's really important as well, isn't it? I mean, if I'm going to do something which 500 other people are also doing, then I'll get lost in the crowd and people would not know who to support. But because at that point of time, probably we were one of the earliest to really step in, from being a civilian and being like, we were not part of any government organization. We were just doing something on our own. And because we were doing it at a scale and at a speed, and we were able to actually execute on ground, because that's the most important thing. If even if you're a startup, even if you're starting a business, all people want to see is validation, right? What you're talking about, are you able to deliver on that? Whatever you are committing, are you able to show that? The moment you do that, you will get support, whether it's investors, whether it's customers. And if you're able to deliver it, and then the quality of your product and service is great, then you are going to get back in. So if you think about it, all of the things that we learned being entrepreneurs, I learned as an entrepreneur while growing Design Hill, while scaling it, or whatever. We just sort of inherently adopted that and implemented it here. And I really feel that it was just a lot of we achieved whatever we could, not because we planned it, but because we learned it, through experience, and we executed it well. you know and those learnings really came in handy.
Amazing. What an amazing story. And it's like in this humanitarian effort that you guys spearheaded, it just affected positively so many people. So,
Yeah.
that's really great. Thank you so much for that. Can you please let everyone know how they can learn more about you and how they can reach out to you directly?
Sure. Obviously, Design Hill is an online business, so you can find us at www.designhill.com. There is also a page for about us page which has my profile on it, and there's a contact us page there as well. But I'm generally more active on LinkedIn. So anybody who wants to reach out to me, wants have any questions, I'm more than willing to help. So they can do that on LinkedIn. You just have to type in my name with Design Hill, and probably I'll pop up. And yeah, and that's it. And if that doesn't work, then we have a 24/7 customer support on Design Hill, and you can just speak to one of our executives, and I'll be in touch pretty soon.
Very good. Rahul, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you taking the time to, tell the story and really walk through, like the specific actions of how a business can utilize these concepts in order to grow their businesses as well. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It was really great. Thank you so much for having me on the